hit record, and we are ready to go. Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. We're back again. We come on this call, we do this call every Wednesday just to come on here and share tips and things that we believe could help you out and help you have a successful business. And so today's topic is really, I like to call it the keys to success, because I believe you need each one of these different little areas in your life. And I know today will be a little different. Instead of like myself just going for like 10 minutes or so and then having Michelle go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull both of us up. And I really call it the 7 steps to success. And as I mention these, Michelle, I'll say something about this specific part, and I want you to say something about this specific part and why it is important and why it is a key to having success. But hey, if you're watching this recording, this is something I encourage you to get you some pen, get you some paper, because these are things that have allowed me for sure to have success. And Michelle, I know once you hear them, you're going to say, yeah, that's true. And number one thing I believe that you got to have before you can have, and see, I didn't want to give you a definition of success before I do get started, because success is different for every single person that's watching this and that is watching the recording. See, success for me is totally different than what success is for you. Michelle's success, she may want her kids never to have to worry about how much a college costs. She just wants to maybe write a check. Marlene may want the same thing. See, for me, I may just want to build my mom a dream house or live here or live there. See, success is different for everybody. So that's why I say success, but you got to have these steps and these keys, I believe, to unlock success in your life. And number one, I believe you have to dream of some kind. You have to be able to dream of some kind. And trust me, life is hard for every single person. Some are younger, some are older. And guess what? Some people have gotten their dreams stole right from underneath them. And so it might be hard for you to dream again. But guess what? You have to put yourself in that. You have to dream big, because I always believe in God put it on your heart and put it in your mind, and then you can go achieve it. But it's all up to you. But you got to dream. You got to have it. Never stop dreaming is what I would always say. And the past is a past. See, one thing I know about the past is I don't even care if it was yesterday. You cannot change it. This ain't YouTube. You can't rewind it. This ain't Netflix. You can't rewind. This ain't even the cassette tape where you can hit the rewind button. The past is the past. All you can do is learn from it. But Michelle, what would you say about dream, or for the first key for everybody?
I think that with dreams, sometimes my personal experience has been that there will be people around me, and you probably have people around you who have had a dream and something didn't work out. Or maybe they talked about what they want to do. Like they have this big goal, this big dream that they want. And there's somebody around them who's maybe a little more pragmatic, maybe a little bit more, we'll say realistic, but I don't even like that word, because they will start to say, that's not possible. Did you really think about everything you got to do to get there? Like, come on now. Why don't you just bring it down a notch and go after something that's a little more attainable? And what typically is happening is that person is afraid of failing. They maybe tried and didn't succeed in the past, and that has an emotional impact for them. And so they project their fears, their traumas on us when we try to dream. And the result is that then we start to question ourselves and our own dreams. And so that big dream that we had, maybe we shrink it down for somebody else's perception, for somebody else's sense of what's possible. And when that happens for long enough, over and over again, And it's usually people who are close to us, right? It's easy enough to shake off the naysayers who aren't in our circle. But usually the ones that have the big effect on us, the dampening of those dreams and that ability to think bigger, they're usually the ones in our circle. And I don't think that they do it with the intention of hurting us, of creating self-doubt, of dampening our goals in the sense of what we think we can do. I think when people experience a failure and they have that attitude of maybe you should tone it down a bit, go for something a little more attainable, that's coming from their own fear, their own rejection, their own trauma that's saying, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to be heartbroken. So shrink your dream. And we need to just say no to that. We need to just say, I love you, and I can't receive what you're saying to me right now. And if we find those people in our lives who are diminishing our dreams and squashing our creativity, maybe we just don't share our dreams with them. That's okay. It's okay to identify the people in our circle who say they want the best for us, but then really they're pushing us down and keeping us down. To say, I love you, and I'm also going to keep this to myself, or I'm going to share this with people who will support it, who will push me towards it, rather than those who are going to try to take me away from it. So don't let people steal your dream. That's what I would say.
And then the number 2 key, I believe, to success is you got to have the vision. See, now you have the dream. See, dreaming is something that we all have within us. We all dream of things that we want, the cars, the clothes, the schools we want our kids, grandkids to go to. We have this dream that we have, but then the vision. Now, when I say the vision, now you have to be able to visualize yourself driving that dream car. You have to be able to visualize yourself living in that home. Maybe visualize you walking on that campus, walking with your grandkids or your kids on that campus. See, you have to put it into your mind. See, and my tips to help your vision grow would be I encourage, I got this from a great friend, mentor, like a brother to me. Todd told me I had to draw it out. If it was a car I wanted, draw it out. If it was a type of house I wanted, draw it out the best way I can. I'm not saying you got to be, or you don't have to be an big old artist, but you just have to draw it out. Make it, like, put it out there, make it plain. Just draw it the best way you can. Print some pictures out. See, I have pictures all around my house, inside the car, on the refrigerator, right here next to my desk. I have it all over. But I'm always visualizing. I'm always seeing the things that I know that I'm pushing for. And then one of the big ones, I always say it all the time, it'd be some affirmations. I always encourage you to have your affirmations around you, reading them. For me, I have them right here by my computer. I have some in my wallet. I have some in my backpack. So every time I kind of like bring myself down, I read my affirmations. It helps me, speak life into my situation. But Michelle, what would you say about vision?
I would say sometimes for people, vision is hard. How do you create that in your mind? Like, what is the thing that I really want? We start with the dream, but sometimes that vision is having clarity on what we're striving for, where are we going? And for me right now with my photography business, my dream is to have a studio outside of my house. I've been in my home for the last almost 13 years, and I am ready to have something off-site. So that's my dream. Where I sometimes get stuck is, well, how do I get there? What's that even going to be like? And so when we have the moments in our life where what we have currently isn't working or it's not the most desirable, think about what's the opposite of that? What would the thing look like that's different from that for you? So for instance, for me, when I think about this dream that I have, I envision walking into my new studio. What is it going to look like? What's the lighting like? I think about how will that change my day to day? And I allow myself to mentally walk through those processes. I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive to my studio. What part of town is it in? I think about things like, how does that change my client's experience? And how does that grow my business? So when we think about the details of it, that helps to solidify the vision aspect. Because if we just say, oh, I have this big dream, that's awesome. That's the best place to start. But if we don't see clearly what that looks like, and down to the little details of it, maybe it's not a car. That's okay. Maybe you want to work with teens and have a nonprofit. How do you do that? Allow yourself to think about, to create in your mind those interactions. What does it look and feel like? Maybe what does it smell like? Where are you going? And put yourself in your imagination, put yourself in that setting, experience in your mind what it feels like to reach those goals and to find that vision, and then let it play out. Let it in your imagination, let it play out in great detail. Because if you don't have that vision with the great detail, how are you ever going to know if you're getting there?
And then number 3, I would say another one that I say that you need to have some goals now. Now you have the dream, you're starting to visualize it. Okay, now what's the goals to getting there? What's the goals to getting that vision, to getting that dream? What's the 10-year plan, the 5-year plan, the 2-year plan? And yes, I know this may take time, but this is something that you have to do, because if you're just out there just doing it, now you don't know what you're striving for. Like you don't have no benchmarks. You got to be able to check it off and look at the game plan and say, hey, do you know what? Hey, I got there. I came up a little short, or hey, I exceeded my goals for this time. So what are your goals? And I say break it all the way down from the 10-year, the 5-year, the 2-year, the 1 year, the 3 months, because I always tell everybody, I don't care if it's weight loss, that's something for you. 90 days can change your life. 90 days can change. Matter of fact, anybody who's ever had success in this business can always go back to a 90-day period. So what is that? What is the next 90 days going to be like for you from a business standpoint or a weight loss standpoint? Like, what is that goal? Like, well, my goal in the next 90 days, say it was weight loss. Hey, I want to lose 30 pounds, 10 pounds a month, or whatever it may be. And if you exceed that, great. But so having the goals, having that, but break it all the way down to the daily as well. I believe you need to have daily goals. Me and Mr. Ernest was just talking about this right before the call, and Marlene, and having something daily to push for is very, very important. I always tell people, like, it's all right to take 1 day of rest, but the other 6 days, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you truly want to achieve that dream, because if you are where you thought you would be at in this point in life, then great, congratulations. But a lot of us are still striving for more. So having daily goals and weekly goals and goals all the way out to about 10 years is very, very important, I believe. What about how you feel about that, Michelle?
I think you're right. And I think that when we talk about, these steps, the dream is like the big concept. The vision is getting more specific. So this is the what, the dream and the vision, right? And then you have the goals. And that's getting more into strategy. That's getting more into the steps, the individual things that need to happen to get you to the big picture. And so as you're creating goals, and sometimes I don't like that word because it feels a little abstract. It feels kind of like out there sometimes. I like objectives better because that to me feels more strategic. Not that the word goal is bad, right? For me, like to find little tweaks in the verbiage that changes the, I'll say the urgency or the way that my brain wraps around a concept. And so for me, when I set an objective, it's like, I will get there. It's more focused and strategy. And so with that goal or objective or whatever the word is that works for you to create a sense of urgency so that you can take action towards it, those goals need to be strategic. They need to be something that you can identify this, like Anthony said, a benchmark, something that you can attain. And then don't forget to remind yourself of what you have achieved. Because sometimes we set those goals and the objectives, we have a strategy in place, and we have a timeline on it. And sometimes things take longer than we thought they were going to take. Life happens. And our errant human nature is to say, I missed it. I failed. I didn't hit it. I'm not there yet. I might as well give up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Remind yourself of what you have already accomplished. Because when we remind ourselves of the little successes and we look back and we see, okay, here's the big picture. Here's my detailed vision. And here's what I'm doing to get me there. When you remind yourselves of all of the little things that you've done along the way that have moved you forward, it becomes easier to dismiss that negative self-talk that says, I'm not there yet. So set them with intention of how does it move you forward towards your objective and your big picture.
Yeah. And the next key, everybody, is now you got that objective that you're pushing for, that goal that you're pushing for, is now you have to create the plan. See, I watch a lot of people have the goals and they want to take the action, but their actions are just all over. They really never have the plan on how they're going to get there. So you need to sit down and think about it. Not just sit down and think about it, but you need to ask somebody. And guess what? It's okay to ask somebody who has achieved something that you're pushing for, or something similar or right around success, because success leaves clues. See, all successful people had a plan on how they were going to do it. How many people do you plan on talking to? Maybe it's a title in the business. Maybe it's a title that you want to achieve. How many people do you plan on, physically talking to and having a presentation to or sharing a video with? What's the number? Then you also need to, maybe I can tell you this. I don't care what it is that you want to achieve in life. You'll never, ever be able to achieve it by yourself. So who are you going to be working with to achieve that goal, that objective? Because see, everything in life takes more than one person. See, a football player ain't nothing without the coach. And a coach ain't nothing without the owner, because he's the one who paid for the team. And see, that owner ain't nothing without the money that he used to purchase the team. Maybe it was oil and gas or whatever he did. See, everybody needed somebody. See, it takes a team. It takes a village of people that you need. What's the plan? What's your action steps? Who's your mentor? Who's gonna be right there with you? Who's holding you accountable for the things that you say you want to achieve? See, because we all want to achieve great things, but nobody wants to be held accountable. See, that should be part of your plan. Who are you taking? Hey, this is what I did this is what I did today. This is what I did. This is what I have planned for the week. This is what I have planned for the month, for the next 90 days. This is what I'm shooting for. Who's your mentor? Who are you learning from? So what do you have to say about planning, Michelle? I know it's one of your favorite things to talk about there. So what do you have to say about it?
I would say when you have a plan, when you have lined out what those steps are and how you're going to do it, stick to your plan. Sometimes you'll take steps and you're like, well, that didn't go quite according to plan. That didn't work out. And the tendency is to have a knee-jerk response where we change the plan. Or we just change what we're doing. Maybe we didn't even strategically evaluate the plan. We just experienced a bump in the road or a roadblock. And we're like, swerve around, changing it up. And I would say that plan was put in place for a reason, right? We identify our goals and create the plan to get there with intention, knowing what it is that needs to be accomplished. So that plan has value and it needs time to be carried out. So when you have it, follow it for a period of time. Give yourself a certain time parameter on it. I am going to execute the steps of my plan for this period of time. And then that's a benchmark we're going to evaluate. How is the plan working? Is it moving us forward, or do we need to make adjustments? And that's going to work a whole lot better than that knee-jerk response of hitting a bump in the road, or a conversation that didn't go quite the way we wanted. If we will just stick with that plan for a period of time and then reevaluate at those benchmarks, and maybe the plan worked, it just wasn't the right person. It wasn't the right time for them, or that conversation was not meant to carry forward. That's okay. Those are learning experiences. They're an opportunity to grow and develop and just keep moving forward. Keep executing the plan. The plan doesn't suck. Okay. Just keep moving forward with it. And at the right time, reevaluate and see, what do I need to keep doing? What do we need to tweak? What's not working that we can get rid of? And then you move forward again with the new plan.
And that everybody, that was one of my keys, but it's a great thing. And I always say you have to do the evaluation right after this next key. And you know what that is? You got to do some consistent daily action. You got to do some consistent daily action. We can go to practice all day long. I mean, I see Mr. Ernest here. I know he teaches tennis and pickleball, and you can practice all day long. But if you never, ever, ever get out there and actually play, I mean, you can watch film all day long. That's what I meant to say. You can watch film all day long, but if you never get out there and actually hit the ball or do anything like that, or for a football player, if they draw up the game plan, draw up the playbook, it's all there. But if you never get out there and actually start doing it, then how can you learn and how can you even move forward if you're never even doing anything? Now you just got this big dream, this big vision, all these goals of things that you want to achieve and do for you and your family, but you never, ever take the action. And I don't just like saying action, because some people feel like some people I know feel like, hey, they want to lose weight. For instance, they take our Slenderage drops, take them one day out of every 7 days and expect to lose the weight. It don't work like that. Some of y'all want to talk to one person on Monday, but then go 10 days more and then don't talk to nobody else, but want a $2,000 check on it. It doesn't work like that. Life don't work like that. You got to put in the work. You got to take some action every single day. Every day. I say every single day, you need to be doing something for your business. I don't care if it's just doing a follow-up call, sitting down, doing a presentation one-on-one, but every single day, you need to be finding something that's consistently going on with your business, and watch how it would change. So that would be my next key right there. And then Michelle mentioned evaluation, so I will touch on that. That was the next key, because after you do the action, after every amount of time, matter of fact, I feel that you should evaluate at the end of every day. At the end of every day. And the reason I say that is because eventually you're going to tell yourself at the end of the night, going to say, when am I going to stop doing this to myself? I say I want to lose weight, but if I look at all the junk food I ate today, it wasn't good. I say I want to grow this business, but I talked to 0 people today. So if you really want to get real with yourself, evaluate yourself every single night and watch how your life will begin to change. Watch how your business will begin to change. But Michelle, what would you say about, I know you talked about evaluation already, but what would you say about consistent action?
I would say don't confuse motion with activity. It's not the same thing. So I can sit down and I can write out all of the things I need to do. I can be busy and not be productive. They're not the same. And so identify the top 3 things, like the 3 most important things you got to do today. Those are the things that they need to get done. They might be the things that are going to require a lot of your effort. And what we have a tendency to do is make a to-do list. And I don't know about you, but my to-do list can sometimes be a page or more long, and then all of a sudden you're overwhelmed. You look at that and you're like, oh my God, I got so much to do. I don't even know where to start. And the tendency from there is to start trying to whittle away at the little things, the things that you're like, that's not going to take me very long. I can knock that out. I can, this one over here, that shouldn't, be a big commitment. Not too much brain power. I'll knock that one out. And then what happens is you get those peripheral things done, but your big things are still there. We haven't made any progress with that. So the making of the list, that's motion, right? That's busyness. That's identifying what I need to do. We feel better about it because, hey, we've identified it, but it's not the same thing as getting it done. Motion and activity, not the same. So identify your 3 most important things that you need to be taking action on. And then a lot of times we procrastinate. We avoid doing the thing because of some level of stress. We're not sure about, what's it going to take from me? Will I make the right decisions? Is it going to be perfect? How long is it going to take? I don't have that much time. Rather than allowing yourself to spiral with those conversations, pick that most important thing. And if you have to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just start, just do something with it. Because if you just continually make your list and shave off the peripheral things that aren't really that important, your big things are still going to be there. And so we need to be taking action towards the things that are important. And even if you do small actions through the day towards that big goal, towards the important thing, you're going to be making a lot more progress than if you avoid that to do the peripheral things or just keep yourself in motion without productive activity.
And then, Michelle, these last 2, they're different, but we'll knock them out together. We can knock them out together. And that is mindset and belief. Mindset, belief, faith, however you want to call it. For me, it's faith. But mindset, everybody, is one of the key things that will take you to help you achieve anything and everything you want in life. Because if you don't have the right mindset, I don't care what it is you want to achieve, you will not get there. Mindset also goes with the self-talk. I heard Mr. Ernest say something to me that just reminded me of what I do on a daily basis. I barely turn the radio on anymore. Only time I watch TV is at nighttime when everything else is done. See, I'd rather listen to a podcast, a YouTube video, read a book. See, I'm always looking to create my mindset because I know it takes a different mindset to get to a different tax bracket. See, I can't have the same mindset that I had here at the $100,000 mark if I want to make the $1 million mark. It's a different mindset. You have to, and beyond, tens of millions, you got to have a different mindset. What are you telling yourself? What are you feeding yourself? And see, a lot of times we let outside things affect us, whether it be people or things we're feeding our brain, whether it be like the news. It could be the radio. It could be what we're watching, any of that. And it also could be family members. Your best friend want to call you and gossip all the time. We all have that. I don't care if you're man or woman. People say, well, men don't gossip. That's a lie. Go to the barbershop, men. Hey, they gossip over there. They talk about bad things too. They want to bring up all the negative things. Sometimes it may be all the negative things in sports, but it's still negativity. See, what am I feeding myself? I believe you have to have a mindset and you develop it over time. You also develop the belief over time. See, because you had this big dream and sometimes it may be hard for you to believe that that's even true, but you setting the goals, making the plan, taking consistent daily action, reevaluating on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, all those type of things, that helps you build your belief up as well. And when you have that belief, when you have that faith, trust me, you'll smile at any problem that comes up. Hey, I like this obstacle. I'm gonna figure out a way to get around it. I'm gonna jump over, I'm gonna run around it, I'm gonna dig up underneath, or I'm just gonna run it over. See, because you have that belief and that faith that all things are possible. But mindset and belief or faith, however you want to put it, Michelle, what would you say about those two?
I would say that what you say, whether it's internally or out loud, has a lot to do with the outcome. There is so much power in your words. And I had a situation last week, a big photo shoot with a large group of clients, and so many of them came in and they said to me, I hate having my picture taken. I'm not going to like any of these. I don't like myself. So just get it over with. And you know what? That's how their pictures looked. But if you come into a situation and you say, I'm going to make the best of this. Maybe it's not my favorite thing, but what can I identify that I like about it? What can I identify as the benefit to this? See, the way that we show up and the energy that we put out, the mindset and the attitude that we have, it's going to have a huge impact on the results. So I tell people, if you'll come in with an attitude of, let's have fun with this, let's get a positive outcome, that's what's going to happen. It completely changes the experience. It changes what you project, and therefore it changes how people receive you and want to interact with you. So that tweak in the mindset, in the conversation we have in our head, in the things we say out loud, choose to think and speak things that are positive and working towards your benefit, moving you forward towards your goal, that people around you are going to want to be close to you because of what you say and how you say it. If we have a bad mindset and a bad attitude and we don't believe things are possible for us or for others, that's what we're putting out there. And so don't be surprised if that's what happens. But we have the power to shift that with how we speak and what we think. So believe that your big dream and your goals and your vision are possible, and then take the action, put it into motion, and be consistent with how you approach it with a positive attitude, and watch what happens.
You guys, and that's what I believe. Michelle, I'm pretty sure that you feel the same way about these are keys to success. Now, I mean, it's some other things out there that you really would need as well, and you'll develop over time. But I believe these right here are keys to success that you can start doing right now. These are things that you can start implementing today, and now quit putting things off. Start today to implement this thing. Start dreaming again. Start have that vision again. Start visualizing what it is that you want. Like Michelle mentioned, the smell, the color. How is it going to feel? How's your body going? Maybe it's a new bed that you want. How are you going to sleep in it? What is it? So the plan, create that plan. I encourage you to create that plan. You got to take the action, reevaluate, create the mindset that's needed over time, and then also just believe that it's possible. So that's what we have for you today. I know we went a little longer than normal, but I felt that it was something that everybody needed to hear today. It was on my heart to share. I was like, well, I asked the Lord, I said, well, Lord, is there two of them I can share? He said, no, share all of them. So I had to share all of them. And Michelle, I'm so glad you got to join us today. Next week, we'll see if, I know I'll be traveling next week, but we'll see if we'll be able to still make this happen next week and give y'all some golden nuggets to have success in your life. I'm going to stop the recording and also unmute so y'all can tell Michelle how awesome she is.
Thank you, Michelle.
It's fun.
Thanks, guys.
Michelle.
Great.
Yep.
Thank
Back
you.